Do you guys want to listen to Myles Garrett first? He said he felt a pop in his shoulder.
Yeah.
Anthony, if you could pull up the Myles Garrett sound here. And this is him after the game describing what he heard, what he felt, and how he's feeling in the moment. Anthony, you can take microphone whenever you're ready.
So it is a left shoulder injury?
Yeah.
Have you had any exams on it yet?
No. See tomorrow.
MRI tomorrow at UCLA probably?
And where would we decide to do it?
You came back in the fourth quarter for a little bit. Is it just killing you?
I'm not going to come out unless it's falling. It's already falling off. I want to win just as much as the rest of these guys want to win. I see the determination in their face every time we go out there, and I'm not here to let them down. I'm giving them every ounce of effort I got. I don't care how I'm feeling.
Also, the barbershop is today. Steve Becker put it wrong on the schedule. He just texted me, so the barbershop is today. Now back to Myles Garrett, who said he felt a pop in his shoulder. He said he's not going to come out unless his shoulder's falling off. That is the same shoulder I believe he hurt in the car crash last season.
It is the same one.
Which makes at least an extra little cause of concern. We'll hear from Kevin Stefanski today at 4 o'clock. Their press conference is usually at 1 o'clock, but because they're in L.A., in our time, it's 4 o'clock.
What sucks, Mike, is that he seems to have an injury every year. It doesn't, like, he's not out for the year, but every year he gets unlucky and has a weird injury and then ends up being not as effective after that. I'm so worried. He's been so great this year. By the way, kudos to Garrett Bowles, who I wanted the Browns to trade for, the Broncos left tackle, who I thought played Myles Garrett until his injury better than any left tackle had played against him all season. But the Browns for the Browns defense to maintain its greatness, which it has played at for the most part this season, they have to have not only Myles Garrett, they have to have a healthy Myles Garrett. Because if he's at 50% and playing like just the regular Joe, their defense is still good, but it's not going to be special anymore. And the Browns can't win anything that matters without their defense being special. So this, with all the injuries, DTR and Amari Cooper, this is the injury that is the most meaningful right now.
Dude is a warrior. Like last year.
Unbelievable.
I can't tell you, like there was some tweets coming out of the locker room yesterday that he needed help putting his shirt on over his shoulder. I saw that multiple times last year after the car accident where he couldn't put his shirt on after the game and he needed help, and yet he's still out there on the field. And last year, I know there was a sense of responsibility, and he knew he let the team down with the car accident and the way that he was hurt in the first place. So he was determined to fight through it. He missed one game, I think, with it, and then came right back. So if there's any chance at all for him to be on the field, he's going to be on the field. Like, this guy's toughness is off the charts, but you just wonder how effective can he be.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Because he only missed one game last year,
but he wasn't the same
not
guy.
himself.
He wasn't the same guy.
And you also, obviously, the medical staff will answer this question, but you also have to ask yourself, what is the risk of further injury if he goes out there and plays? Look, Myles Garrett is one of the best defensive players in the NFL right now. That's very clear. Is he better than most with an injured wing? Probably. But is he going to be effective enough to carry the team to where they want to go if he's not 100%, particularly if you're risking injury? They've got some really difficult questions to answer in the coming days.
I mean, Garrett, how effective is his swim move or a spin move if he can't move his arm, if he can't lift his shoulder?
It's rough because what he's doing is everything about defensive end is your punch. Everything is about your get off. Everything is about your hand work, your push pull, just being able to dip and rip and get around and run the hoops. Look, that position right there. Look at that. Like that position right there. Myles Garrett is in that position 40 plays a game.
Yeah.
Right. So that you're asking a man to not only hold his 275 pounds upward himself. You're asking him to leverage the force of another 300-plus pound man that's on his shoulder as well. Plus, you got to think about it like this. You got to watch for crackback blocks coming down the line of scrimmage. You got to watch for tight ends double teaming. The running backs are going to chip. So he's going to be getting that shoulder touched or hit pretty much every single play. That's the unfortunate part about playing in the trenches. There's no days off in the trenches. Even if it's a run or a pass, you got to touch another grown man.
It's warfare.
It is what it is. So,
it's tough.
This is one of the biggest blows for the Browns, and you'll start to see it now. Like a lot of people that give Myles Garrett this unfair criticism, well, he should be doing more. Well, you're going to see now. you're going to see if Myles Garrett is not out there, the difference between what your defense looks like here and there. It's just like, if you got a routine and you're taking supplements, let you stop taking them supplements for about a week.
See how strong
you is. You get back in that gym, you're like, dang.
Can I ask a potentially dumb question? So Myles Garrett hurt his left shoulder, right? And he usually lines up over the left tackle. So when he swims, the injured shoulder is the inside shoulder. If he was to play more over the right tackle, his dip shoulder would be his right shoulder. Does that make any difference, or is it still a risk for injury?
Oh, no, he's still getting punched.
And you still need both arms.
Yeah.
Well, I was just asking.
It might make a percentage difference, but it's still.
When they punch, they punching you with two hands, one here and one here.
And the offensive linemen are going to know exactly where you're injured.
Yeah.
Half the fight is already won.
Yeah.
They're going to know how to handle them.
Yeah, I was just asking. I didn't know.
It's a fair question, but
we've already talked about the DTR injury, so no point on that now. The Denzel Ward injury, which happened obviously the game before. I mean, that was a huge deal. Greg Newsome just got cooked.
Exposed.
I mean, Denzel Ward, you talked about it, G. Well, we'll see what this defense looks like. You're going to learn without Myles Garrett. We already learned without Denzel Ward how important he is.
Levels. The Denzel Ward, man, Greg Newsome might be, I know you want that big deal for the outside. Looks like that. You look like a slot corner right now, dog.
He's fine as a piece. He's not the piece.
I mean, when Cortland, I thought they was going to put Emerson on him. You see what Emerson did to Judy. I mean, he basically got him out the game.
What do you have, a handful of catches? One catch that comes to mind.
Yeah, and that's, we've seen with Jim Schwartz's defense, the right corner gets this side of the field, the left corner gets this side of the field, and they don't match up and they don't change. And in this instance, I think I'd like to see Emerson shadow Cortland Sutton a little bit more.
I agree.
That was a bad job by Schwartz. He deserves criticism.
And then let Newsome carry Judy. Yeah. Because it just felt like, man, right from the jump, they were looking for zero, and they were going right at his ass the whole game.
Yep.
And
he did not pass the test.
And when you talk about the running, not only that in the pass game, but in the run game, there's been 2 or 3 times these last 2 weeks where
missed tackles.
Greg Newsome is whiffed. On the Warren play, he whiffed in the hole. On this play, it was a sideline catch. Sutton made the ball, caught the rock. And he just whiffed. He just let him get for 10 yards.
He does not give great effort on tackling.
Tackling is huge in this defense, especially for your corners if you got a lot of guys in press man coverage.
By the way, on that first drive by the Broncos, and I don't usually complain about refs, and I thought the Browns got some beneficial calls later, and the Browns have gotten a ton of calls in their favor the last month, but I thought that was a terrible PI call on Newsome on that first possession.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I thought he barely touched him, and that was a huge play because that was 3rd and 10, and they ended up scoring a touchdown after that.
The announce team didn't like it either, if I
no,
remember
they did not
correctly.
If I never have to listen to Mark Sanchez again.
Oh, my God.
He was terrible.
He's
awful.
Did you see his hair?
The big bush in the back.
The play-by-play guy was fine. He was fine.
He was calling for a jet sweep by Amari Cooper at one point.
God.
I don't know if you caught that, but I'm like,
Speaking
wait a
of Amari
minute.
Cooper, and Jason, I know you touched on the bad pass that got him lit up, but if he's not a part of this offense, DTR, Joe Flacco, whoever, you're just running out of valuable options. And thank goodness Cedric Tillman showed a sign of life, and he played his best game.
Best game.
You
Great
could
game.
be, and we talk about Tillman in a sec, but if Amari isn't good, and Steve, you could take tagboard here, we could play it. He got lit up, and there's no word that we'll hopefully hear what his status is.
There is no excuse for this pass. I mean, look at that. He exposed him to an unnecessary hit right in the ribs.
And by the way, that was not. People were complaining that was a cheap shot. He pushed him.
No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. And there was no helmet involved. It was
he didn't even hit him. He
good
just pushed him with
football
his
play,
hands.
but I'm with you. It's a hospital ball. You can't ask your wide receiver
to
put his arms over his head, over the middle.
You can't and he did that to Njoku, too. He had one in Njoku that he could have got him killed.
It's not like it was a deep pass.
No, it's 10 yards.
Yeah, that's just awful.
Philip Walker needs to be back in the XFL or Arena League or wherever it is those quarterbacks
They're combining, I think, the XFL and the
well, that's a good spot
They
for
are
him.
combining, yes.
They may need, listen, I'm going to be honest, they may need 2 quarterbacks. They may, if DTR can't go and he in protocol, I can't put BJ Wall. I can't have him be my backup. I'm sorry, I just can't. He's the fact that when he gets in the game and he's a veteran and he has the ball security of a 2-year-old. Like he's just
every time he hit him, ball's out.
Every single time he's touched, it's like a 2-year-old with a sippy cup. You dropped your sippy cup.
Pick up your Cheerios.
Why are you leaving your socks around?
He's leaving a mess
Everywhere.
I have no idea why he's in an NFL roster. And again, we'll go back to I'm not going to go back to Josh Dobbs at this point. It's stupid. But at the trade deadline, why at the very least around then you didn't? Because if you had signed Flacco 2 weeks earlier, he would have been the backup by this week. Now, again, you still may have lost the game. Who knows? What's funny is that, there was a lot of complaint about not running enough, right? They had all these injuries, although a lot of them did come late. And yet, if DTR didn't get hurt, I still think they had a good chance to win the game.
I think they were on their way to winning.
Yes.
I totally agree.
I think they were on their way to winning the game.
Yeah.
And as it was, the game was over the last 2 minutes, right? Last 2, 3. The game was over.
4 minutes was over.
But in 11 games, 2
were out of control.
They were not in it in the last 2. Like they had a chance to be in it and win every game.
Their other 2
at the
losses,
end.
they easily could have.